So this is a short little video to take you through how to use Excel, the file that was set up for your mini project. A couple things that you want to do. First of all, you want to make sure that you have this snipping tool on your desktop. You can search for it if you don't already have it. It should be under accessories, and you want to put it there. This is the most useful thing when you're doing any kind of document. You can cut and paste anything off of a website, off of your graph. You don't want to have to take and copy stuff from Excel into a Word document because things don't behave very well. So this little document that I shared with you has a main data page, an investigation. Those two go together, and then it has this one variable stats organization. So this is what the one you'll use for your own data. You could use your calculator if you want. If you want to get extra credit, you got to do it on the computer. You also will have to do it on the computer at the end of the year. So it's probably helpful to get that right now so you know what you're doing. Okay, so what I did is just copy some census data for the states in Puerto Rico and Washington, D.C. And what you're going to do is you're going to copy the list from this tab. Notice you can go between pages. And you're going to put this in the next tab. So I just hold down, I highlight down to Puerto Rico, right click, copy, and then I go over here and I'm going to right click, paste. And it's going to give you different paste options. I think the full one will work. If you want to center it, you can, whatever. But I have formulas down here that give you the mean, median, the quartiles, the max, and the min. Those are all built-in formulas to Excel. If you look, like, it has a maximum formula, it has a mean formula that calls it average, and it gives, and this number that you enter is the range of values you want to take it from. The quartiles are a little more complicated, and then standard deviation. And so your goal of this little investigation is to get this table filled out for a couple other years. So you go back over to that main data page and you select a different year and highlight it. So if I was selecting 2011, I'm going the wrong direction. I'd start at the top, go down to all the way down to the Puerto Rico data, and right click, copy, and go over and paste it. So some of you have done this with Excel before, some of you haven't. This is just to get you a chance to get used to working with these. You're going to do this 3 times. I put the commands in so you know how to do your own formulas. This is something that we'll use for reference later on. I put those in. The other thing you can do with this data, if you don't really care about the names over here, which I don't really care about them right now. When you put your data in and you highlight all of it, you can sort the data. And now you know the smallest population to the biggest population. Remember, when you did that, though, you lost the state. And so undo. If you want to include the state and figure out some more real information, say I want to sort my data, then I'm going to have some different options. I want to go lowest to highest, and you might have to modify what you're sorting. It's doing it alphabetically. I'll click on advanced. No, I won't mess with this data. You can set your filter for different things. How you want to go about it. You can show different stuff on here. I will let you mess with the sort. There we go. I want to sort by column B, which is just the number. And now I didn't have the one thing highlighted in there, but it took and sorted them mostly minus the one I didn't highlight. So you go back and fix that if you want. But whatever's highlighted, it'll sort that for you, and you can look and mess around with it. So play around with that a little bit. You're going to want to do that when you do your little data mini project. Okay, so the only thing that's due for Monday on your project is to find your own data. And so I'm going to keep going with this because some people don't know how to find data. Make sure your data is discrete or continuous. It is not categorical. And so one place you could start is census.gov. They have a data link. Click on it. Let's try data main. And then there's all kinds of stuff you can play around here. There's more data here than you can actually use. It takes a while, but you can just do community facts. You could do Elkhart. There's some interesting stuff about Elkhart County, but I want to just look at Indiana. And so there's general information about Indiana, kind of read through there. But we want to be able to get a list of at least 30 things. And so general population, housing characteristic, all those things, those are interesting, but they are not going to give you 30 data values probably to compare. Like these are not all the same data values, so those don't qualify for your list. So one that I found was a compare. Anytime compare counties, compare cities, let's compare counties. And you could see, like in the different counties in Indiana, what there's different populations. You could figure out what the biggest populations, what the smallest populations. And if you can either take and enter all these data values, or you could download them. I want to view it in a spreadsheet or PDF. I would do Excel. And so you can download it. And then hopefully it will show up in your downloads. And then you have a spreadsheet that's the same format. So now I have all these counties, and I can make sure you don't take the whole state, but if I want to take the counties and I want to see how much the population is by county, and I can right click, copy, and I can go back to my other spreadsheet and I can paste that in. Now I have this set up for you for 50 data values. I don't know if I copied more than 50 or not. I wasn't looking to see. Because if I copy more than 50, then I ruin the formulas. So I gotta go, okay, undo, and go back to your data sheet and just make sure you don't get more than 50. Your data thing says you need to have 30 values. If you can get more than 30, that's fine. You could sort the data ahead of time and take the top counties, however you want to do this to make it more interesting. The other place to find lots of data is just to go to any kind of sports data if you're interested in that. NFL stats. If you're interested in NFL player stats, you can sort any kind of, you can do by individuals, you can do team stats, next gen stats, whatever you're looking for. And you might have to open this up a little bit. Oh, fun. You go, okay, if you're a really big NFL fan, you could do the passing stats. You could do by player position, team category, wherever you want to look. So you're only looking at one of these values. So for this one, I didn't look to see if there's a way to export it. If you can export it to Excel, you can get those numbers. If not, just write them down, type them in. On your project, you need to show where you got it. So you would say NFL.com stats, 2017 passing, and record that. Okay, so that's all we have here. Hopefully that gets you started if we didn't have time after the quiz for you to play around and get that data done.